There's a harsh truth most refuse to face. No one stays at the top of music forever. Especially black female R&B singers who once ruled the charts. They've weathered unseen storms, silent battles behind the spotlight, betrayals in an unforgiving industry, and life challenges more brutal than anyone could imagine. Not everyone survives the long nights filled with pressure, scandal, illness, and heartbreak. 19 black R&B queens who once reigned supreme have suddenly disappeared, leaving fans in shock, or returned in ways you'd barely recognize. Their stories leave no room for weakness, and neither does anyone who dares to look too closely at the tragedies they endured. Candi Staton. Candi Staton. A life painted in both brilliance and heartbreak. Once a queen of soul and disco, she lit up stages with her electrifying hit Young Hearts Run Free, a voice overflowing with power, passion, and a charisma that captivated fans worldwide. But behind that glittering spotlight lurked shadows few could imagine. At just 20, she married Joe Williams, a man whose love was twisted into a nightmare of abuse. 8 years of physical and emotional torment left marks not only on her body but etched deep into her spirit. Fear became a constant companion, and freedom felt like a distant dream. Even after breaking free, the scars lingered, leaving a mistrust that clung relentlessly. Love and marriage offered no reprieve. 6 more walks down the aisle, each ending in turmoil. Names like Clarence Carter, John Sussell, Jimmy James, and Otis Nixon became chapters of pain. Money battles, power struggles, and control tore through her life, dragging her into emotional and financial spirals. Once a star who commanded arenas, she found herself performing in small clubs, empty rooms echoing the fading cheers of fans who once adored her. Disco's collapse hit her career like a freight train. Nightlights, her 1982 album, flopped, Warner Brothers turned away, and doors that once opened freely slammed shut. Candi turned to gospel, seeking solace and revival, but the world no longer greeted her with the same passion. Then, in 2018, fate struck again. Breast cancer, a battle that threatened not just her life but the very essence of who she was. Chemo, radiation, surgery, yet somehow, against the odds, she survived. Still, the fear of losing her voice, her gift, haunts her to this day. Now, at 85, Candi Staton is no longer the dazzling disco icon of yesteryear. Worn by illness, battle-scarred, and tested by fate, she stands as a warrior. Her music may no longer dominate the charts, but her resilience, her fire, and her courage remain unshaken. A life of pain, triumph, and survival echoing far beyond the spotlight. Gloria Gaynor. Gloria Gaynor, the disco queen whose glittering hits masked years of shadows. In the 70s, she was unstoppable. Her anthem "I Will Survive" shook the world, crowning her queen of disco in millions of hearts. But behind the dazzling stage lights, her life was a series of painful falls, both literal and emotional. At the peak of her fame in 1978, Gloria tumbled on stage during a major New York show. The crowd thought it was just a slip. It wasn't. She had suffered a severe spinal injury, one that demanded surgery. She forced a smile, but the pain never left. The energetic dance moves vanished. Every performance became a battle not to collapse in front of her fans. Even as she struggled to recover, a new fight emerged, fame slipping away. Disco faded in the 80s, later albums didn't catch fire, and Polydor Records pulled back support. Big tours disappeared, replaced by small venues and nostalgia gigs. Being labeled a one-hit wonder pierced her pride like a dagger. Financial storms followed. In the late 80s and 90s, debt piled up from overspending and poor management. She sold assets, canceled tours, and wrestled with her struggles in silence. Then, after 26 years, her marriage to manager Linwood Simon ended in a scandal of infidelity. Heartbreak plunged her into deep depression. She recalls feeling a part of herself vanish after the split. Therapy became her lifeline, the fragile rope keeping her from falling apart. Now, at 82, Gloria Gaynor moves through life quietly. Her once flowing hair has turned silver, her steps slower, aided by a cane. Yet her eyes still burn with the fire of a survivor, someone who faced the spotlight and whispered to the world, "I will survive." She did survive, but never without paying a steep, unforgettable price. Diana Ross. Diana Ross. From goddess of glamour to controversial icon, Diana Ross once was the very definition of elegance and stardom. She led the Supremes, Motown's most legendary girl group, then launched a solo career that turned her name into a global brand. Grammys, Oscars, red carpets, every spotlight seemed to orbit Diana Ross. Yet behind the flawless makeup and dazzling smile, her life was quietly fracturing. In the 1970s, at the height of her fame, cracks began to show. Her marriage to music manager Robert Ellis Silverstein fell apart after only a few years, leaving her to raise 3 young children under the crushing weight of expectation. Every time she stepped on stage, she had to radiate perfection, but off stage, she was exhausted, a woman stretched thin between career and family. In 1985, she married wealthy businessman Ari Nest Jr., appearing to find her final safe harbor. But their 2000 divorce exposed bitter battles over property and power, leaving Diana reeling. The flawless diva image began to falter. And in 2002, when she was arrested for driving under the influence, the press descended without mercy, stripping away the elegance she had long projected. Critics and fans dug up old wounds, her alleged betrayal of Florence Ballard, the icy distance toward Mary Wilson, the disastrous 2000 reunion tour where the Supremes seemed reluctant to share the stage with her. Her solo career, once unstoppable, began to fade. Albums fell flat. R&B fans drifted away. New audiences barely noticed. Now, at 81, Diana Ross is a rare sight. Her frame has shrunk, the diva poise a faint echo of its former self. People speak her name with nostalgia, the glamour remains, but the shine is dimmer. And beneath it all, the cracks of the past linger, still unhealed. Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle. A living legend who's fainted on stage, endured a shocking divorce, and survived scandal after scandal. Once a powerhouse of soul and R&B, Patti LaBelle's explosive voice propelled her group to the top with the iconic Lady Marmalade before she carved her mark as a solo artist, most memorably with the duet On My Own. But behind the glittering spotlight lay decades of heartbreak. In 1976, label disbanded amid tension and pressure from their label, leaving Patti to start from scratch. Her early solo years were a struggle. Debut albums failed to meet expectations, and just as On My Own seemed to signal a comeback, her momentum stalled by the late 80s. The release of Be Yourself was met with silence. MCA Records cooled, and Patti turned to TV and theater, no longer celebrated as the diva she once was. The personal blows hit harder. After 32 years of marriage, Patti and her husband manager Armstead Edwards divorced in 2001. It wasn't just career clashes, financial strain and suffocating control had drained them both. The split sent her into deep depression, requiring years of therapy. Earlier, she had collapsed on stage in 1995, and a type 2 diabetes diagnosis changed her life entirely. Strict diets, daily insulin, and constant exhaustion forced her to scale back performances. That fiery energy, the very thing that defined her, nearly disappeared. Tragedy kept coming. Within a decade, she lost 3 sisters to cancer, one by one. Patti reeled, disappeared from the spotlight, and by 2011, her public image suffered again when she snapped at a fan holding a phone too close during a performance, sparking social media backlash. The world wondered, was the legendary diva slipping? Today, Patti LaBelle lives quietly. Her face still carries pride, but her eyes reveal the weight of decades in the spotlight. At 81, she appears at select events, no longer the center of attention. Once untouchable, her voice and her life now stand as a testament to triumph, loss, and survival, a diva left behind by the world she once ruled. Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight, the living legend of R&B, has faced addiction, debt, and the unimaginable pain of losing a child. Known as the Empress of Soul, she led Gladys Knight and the Pips to legendary heights with hits like Midnight Train to Georgia, winning Grammys and lighting up the world's biggest stages. But behind the glory lies a chain of tragedies few know. At just 16, she married James Newman, a man battling addiction and abuse, who abandoned her while she was pregnant, leaving behind debt and deep scars. Her second marriage to producer Barry Hankerson ended in brutal custody battles, and a third with Les Brown collapsed after only 2 years. From an icon of strength, she sank into despair. In the 1980s, as her career slowed, gambling became her escape, tens of thousands lost in a single night, borrowing to keep going. Family ties frayed, her relationship with her children strained, and the death of her son Jimmy in 1999 from drugs nearly silenced her forever. Even professionally, storms raged. The Pips split in 1989 over money disputes, and her solo career met lukewarm crowds. Later albums struggled, and her reputation was further tarnished when her son Shauna was arrested for tax fraud linked to restaurants carrying her name, though she had no involvement. Now, at 81, Gladys Knight carries the elegance and grace that define her, but her face and eyes tell the story of a life weathered by loss, sorrow, and survival. Her steps may be slower, her voice softer, yet the heart of a legend still beats, quietly fierce, through it all. Bettye LaVette. Bettye LaVette. From almost abused child to defiant survivor. Forgotten for half a century, she came dangerously close to becoming a legend. With a voice that could cut steel and a grit few could match, Bettye was one of the finest R&B talents of the early 60s. But after one early hit, she fell into the shadows. Nearly 40 years undervalued, scraping by on poverty and heartbreak. Her first taste of fame came with My Man, He's a Loving Man, then vanished. Atlantic Records dropped her without a word, shelving her debut album forever. Contracts gone. Recognition gone. Her place in music? Gone. Through the 70s, she fought to survive. Cleaning jobs. Singing in dingy bars and rickety venues, barely earning enough for gas. Once, she begged for a roof over her head. No support. No belief. At her lowest, she endured toxic, abusive relationships, bruises, tears, and silence following her home to borrowed rooms. Career shaky, personal life drained. The 80s hit harder. Depression without meds, without therapy, just quiet endurance. Exploited. Betrayed. Trapped in bad contracts, working tirelessly for almost nothing. The world forgot Bettye LaVette existed. Then, in 2005, at an age when most retire, she returned with fire, I've got my own hell to raise. Recognition came late, almost an apology for decades lost. Nearing 60, her voice still raw, her eyes weary, she reclaimed her place. Now, at 79, she still performs. The body slower, the voice strong, though the fire tempered by time. She stands as a living witness to music's brutal, unforgiving nature. A defiant survivor, though the cost was steep. Anita Baker. Anita Baker, the queen of R&B. Behind her legendary voice and timeless hits like Sweet Love and Giving You the Best That I Got lies a life of struggle, illness, and deep loneliness. She rose to the top, Grammy wins, Billboard charts, the world at her feet, but the spotlight couldn't heal the wounds she carried. Orphaned and adopted as a child, Anita learned early to stand alone. When her adoptive mother passed as she was launching her career, a shadow of loneliness fell over her life. By the late 80s, at the peak of her fame, she found herself in a quiet war with Elektra, the label that made her, now holding her back, delaying Rhythm of Love, and suffocating her artistry. The legal battles stretched nearly a decade, draining her fire and dimming her soaring career. Then came heartbreak at home. In 2008, after 20 years of marriage, her divorce from Walter Bridgeford Jr. erupted into custody fights, property disputes, and endless court battles that left her reeling. The music stopped. The 2000s became a long, dark silence, filled with anxiety, motherhood, and depression. Things seemed to brighten, but in 2010, she was rushed to the hospital, congestive heart failure and high blood pressure forcing show cancellations and casting a shadow over her legacy. Brief comebacks like My Everything in 2004 and Only Forever in 2012 sparked little hope, and fans grew frustrated with last-minute cancellations, dimming the diva's once unstoppable glow. Today, Anita Baker lives quietly, almost in seclusion. Her face carries the marks of years of illness, her figure changed, her skin darkened by time. Still called a living legend, She moves in the world knowing the glory days are behind her, but her voice, even in memory, remains untouchable. Sade, the queen of soul and jazz, standing alone amid unseen battles and relentless pressure. She wasn't just an icon, she was a force, adored worldwide for her velvety voice, enigmatic style, and timeless albums like Love Deluxe and Lover's Rock. But behind the glamour, her life was marked by deep wounds and quiet tragedies. Her 1995 divorce from Carlos Pgio wasn't just a breakup, it was a storm that shattered her home. The private, careful woman clashed with fame's unforgiving glare, ending a 7-year marriage and leaving a long, haunting silence. In the 2000s, she faced a brutal custody battle over her daughter Isla with ex-partner Bob Morgan. Tension, heartbreak, and constant strain stole the simple joys of living, forcing her into a world of media scrutiny and limited public appearances. Even her music career wasn't spared. After the triumph of Love Deluxe in 1992, an 8-year silence fueled doubts. Behind the scenes, conflicts with Epic Records pushed her to compromise her artistry, while the Love Deluxe tour struggled, a rare crack in the crown of a queen. Today, Sade moves with elegant calm, yet her face tells the story of years of silent struggle. No longer the youthful starlet, she is a woman tempered by storms, worn by pressure and loss, yet unbroken. Sade remains an icon, a testament to resilience hidden behind a serene, almost unreadable mask. Janet Jackson, a music icon whose life has been as stormy as her beats, caught in scandals and shattered marriages. The pop and R&B queen, with hit after hit, once stood at the very peak of fame. But behind that dazzling glow lay years of controversy, heartbreak, and broken bonds. Her marriages began young and never found solid ground. At just 18, she married singer James DeBarge, a rising star lost to drugs, their union collapsing in a painful split after barely a year. Many say that first heartbreak set the tone for decades of struggle. In 2012, she married Qatari billionaire Wissam Al Mana, hoping for stability as a global superstar. But after their son Isa's birth in 2017, it all fell apart. Cultural clashes, control battles, and bitter custody fights left her once again a pained single mom. Her career, too, was no stranger to turbulence. The infamous 2004 Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction with Justin Timberlake turned her from queen to target. TV and radio stations boycotted her. Fame crashed. Albums like Damita Jo and 20YO couldn't meet sales expectations despite her talent. Meanwhile, Timberlake emerged nearly unscathed, igniting a firestorm debate about gender bias in entertainment. Her battles extended to her label. Virgin Records pushed her to change her style, costing her artistic identity. Discipline flopped, and cancellations, like the 2015 to 2016 tour due to pregnancy and health issues, upset fans and cost millions, chipping away at her reputation as a top performer. Now, at 59, Janet is rarely seen. Her face is altered, her eyes carry a quiet sadness. No longer the unstoppable dance queen, she lives at the edges of showbiz, a woman carrying both her glittering glory and the scars behind it. Perhaps, after everything, Janet Jackson just wants to escape the relentless spotlight. Toni Braxton, the ballad queen. Twice bankrupt, battling illness, losing fame. Toni Braxton was unstoppable with Unbreak My Heart, dominating charts, collecting Grammys, and defining sultry R&B. But behind that powerhouse voice was a life unraveling, body, soul, and spirit fraying. At her career's peak in 1998, she filed for bankruptcy. A-list diva? No one believed she earned just $1,700 a show. Houses, cars, assets, gone in a blink. Betrayed by an industry that once cheered her, Toni sank into depression, disappearing from the spotlight for years. She fought back in the 2000s, only to face bankruptcy again in 2010, this time for $50 million. Mounting medical bills, bad contracts, and a lavish lifestyle left her nearly broke. Then lupus hit, pain crushing her body, hospital stays endless, shows cancelled. Vegas gigs abandoned. By 2016, complications forced her further into the shadows. Meanwhile, her 12-year marriage to Carrie Lewis ended quietly in 2013, scarred by infidelity and custody battles. Alone, in debt, and fighting illness, Toni Braxton was barely herself. Now, nearing 60, she keeps a sharp look, but her eyes tell the truth. Skin not as firm. Face marked by years of struggle and medication. The R&B icon the world once adored seems a shadow of her former glory. Yet, even in that weariness, the legend lingers. Mariah Carey. A legend shattered, fame teetering at rock bottom. Once, she ruled every chart with a voice that stretched across 5 octaves, selling hundreds of millions of albums and delivering global hits that made her the queen of timeless songs. But behind the glittering stage lights, her life was a chain of quiet wounds, brutally exposed. In 2001, just as her heroics still echoed, everything crashed. Glitter, her album and film, flopped. Sales plummeted. Fans turned away. She landed in the hospital, mentally drained. Odd posts and cryptic online messages sparked whispers that she'd considered ending it all, a truth she later confirmed. Virgin Records severed ties, writing her a $28 million check, barely a drop in a year-long storm of disaster. Her marriage to music mogul Tommy Mottola ended in pain, a life she called controlling and suffocating. Divorced and craving freedom, her career faltered. Remarrying Nick Cannon, the unraveling continued. By 2016, divorce, custody battles, and relentless public scrutiny followed every move. Then came New Year's Eve 2016. A tech glitch exposed lip syncing. Mariah froze on stage, millions watching, her legendary status reduced to a viral punchline in minutes. In 2018, she revealed a near 20-year hidden battle with bipolar disorder, explaining the instability, hospital stays, surgery obsessions, and canceled shows. Now 56, Mariah presents as regal, yet her face shows the stiffness of procedures, her figure shifts, and her voice isn't what it once was. Once adored, she is now seen as a faded icon, swallowed by the weight of past glory. Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige. From a childhood of pain to years lost in booze, drugs, and a staggering $1 million divorce. Mary J. Blige rose as the queen of hip-hop soul, racking up Grammys and Billboard-topping hits like Family Affair and No More Drama. But behind the spotlight was a darkness few could imagine. In 1994, at the height of her fame, she nearly died from an overdose in a hotel room. Trauma from an abusive childhood in the projects had driven her into addiction. Through the 90s, she performed drunk on stage, hiding hospital stays for exhaustion. By the end of the decade, rehab became her lifeline, or she might not have survived. Even when it seemed she had reclaimed her life, 2018 hit hard. Her divorce from husband and manager Kendu Isaac left her reeling, $130,000 a month in demands, accusations of infidelity, forced sales of homes and cars, millions lost. The blow dulled her edge. Later albums faded. From Soul Queen to Done, she faced criticism, including backlash for a controversial 2011 Libya performance tied to Gaddafi. Now, Mary lives quietly, rarely seen, her look changed. The once defiant stage presence carries a shadow, her eyes no longer burn like they used to. Nobody knows for sure if Mary J. Blige has truly escaped the darkness, or if she's still fighting every day just to survive. Erykah Badu. Neo-soul's unforgettable queen. Once unstoppable, now haunted by scandals and fading glory. With a voice that mesmerizes, a style all her own, and a fearless artistic vision, she reshaped American music. But behind the spotlight, her life spirals. At the height of her fame, messy relationships caught up with her. 3 children with 3 high-profile rappers, Andre 3000, The DOC, and Jay Dilla. Parenting, conflict, and mental strain pushed her to the edge. She retreats from the public eye, living reclusively, rumors of anxiety following her like shadows. In 2018, a controversial statement about Hitler and Bill Cosby ignited outrage, boycotts, and fierce backlash. Though she apologized, her image never fully recovered. Post 2000 albums lost their spark, labels grew distant, and cancelled shows earned criticism. Today, Erykah moves quietly through the world she once commanded, her appearance gaunt and somber. A brilliant icon, now a haunting whisper of her former self. Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott, hip-hop queen caught in dark years of illness, depression, and a career slipping through her fingers. Untouchable once, she stormed stages, shattered creative boundaries, and defined a generation. Then it all unravels. Graves' disease hits in 2008, hands trembling, barely walking, shows and recordings grinding to a halt. Meds and radiation don't break her, but they bring no peace. To the world, she vanishes from the spotlight. Inside, the wound runs deeper, her soul scarred from a childhood of family violence and abuse, leaving her guarded, stifled. Fame's pressure to stay unique drags her into depression. Albums stall, projects die, sales tank. Critics call her outdated, pit her against rising stars. A Super Bowl comeback sparks hope, but it can't revive a fading empire. Today, Missy exists quietly, thinner, hollowed, a ghostly echo of the legend she once was. Jill Scott. Jill Scott, the soul queen who stumbled hard. Once a neo-soul icon, her voice soared, her lyrics cut deep. Her debut hit, and the world watched. But chaos was already waiting. In 2007, after 6 years, she quietly divorced Liesl Williams. The cost? Devastating. Depression crept in, inspiration drained, exhaustion piled up. In 2016, she married Mike Dobson, and just 15 months later, it all crashed again. This time, louder. Fights. Accusations. Lawsuits. Public shaming. Her image shredded. Meanwhile, her career slipped. Albums dropped and disappeared. Labels walked away. She fought for royalties. Shows were cancelled, fans moved on. Music spotlight dimmed, and Jill faded from view. Now, she keeps a low profile. The glory is gone. Rarely on stage, heavier, worn, carrying a lifetime of wreckage. Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill. A true R&B legend, whose life has been as turbulent as her voice is unforgettable. She exploded onto the world stage with the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, winning 5 Grammys and redefining R&B forever. But behind the glory, chaos brewed. Her 13-year relationship with Rohan Marley promised love, but instead brought turmoil. 5 children arrived, but no real family stability. Rohan left her to navigate money, emotions, and motherhood alone. After the Fugees disbanded in 2006 amid internal battles, Lauryn disappeared from the spotlight. No albums, no tours, just silence. Then came the shocking blow. In 2013, 3 months in prison for evading nearly $2 million in taxes, plus fines that pushed her deep into financial crisis. Since then, rare appearances revealed a woman worn down, hours late, visibly frustrated, and struggling to hold herself together. The brilliant musician, once unstoppable, now feels like a shadow of herself, haunted, isolated, and weighed down by the very world she once shook with her genius. Keyshia Cole. Keyshia Cole. From abandoned child to fallen star, trapped in a slide she can't climb out of, Keyshia Cole once set the R&B world on fire. Her voice was sharp, her lyrics raw, and her debut The Way It Is stunned fans and critics alike, rivaling Mary J. Blige, topping charts, and becoming an anthem for the broken. But behind the spotlight, her life was a storm of tragedy. Growing up in Oakland, her adoptive mom walked out, her birth mom sank into addiction, and years of abuse left scars that never healed. Fame came fast, but her unhealed wounds unraveled her, piece by piece. A shattered 2017 marriage to Daniel Gibson led to bitter custody battles, public smear campaigns, and crushing legal fees. The 2021 overdose of her birth mom crushed her further. Depression forced her off stage, albums flopped, labels turned away, and peers mocked. Today, she's rarely seen, private, fragile, almost lifeless. Many say Keyshia Cole is the clearest example of a star consumed by wounds that never healed. Carrie Hilson. Carrie Hilson, once a shining star of R&B, now fights a quiet war with depression, teetering on the edge. She burst onto the scene with undeniable talent, delivering hits and lending her voice to some of the biggest tracks as a sought-after collaborator. But everything shifted. In 2010, her second album, No Boys Allowed, flopped, sending her spiraling. Pressure from labels and the public dragged her deeper into a dark spiral. Social media battles, jabs at Beyoncé, and fans drifting away only made it worse. Her longtime connection with Samuel Soba ended in tense silence, freezing her career from 2011 to 2019. During those years, she disappeared from the spotlight, stepping back from music, her confidence chipped away, forced to adapt to changing label demands. Today, her look has lost its former shine, marked by the quiet scars of an inner fight, a star fading fast, trapped between shadows and missed chances. Rihanna, the fierce queen with a storm raging beneath the surface and a career that's always on the edge. A global music icon with countless hits, she once shone as a pop and R&B star. But behind the spotlight, life was far from easy. In 2009, everything changed. Her then-boyfriend Chris Brown brutally assaulted her. Her swollen face, split lips, and leaked photos shocked the world. The wounds weren't just physical, they cut deep into her soul, triggering a battle with PTSD and a shaken faith in love. Later, her on and off relationship with Drake brought conflict, public fights, and more heartbreak. The assaults, relentless fame, and constant scrutiny pushed her to the edge of anxiety and depression, demanding ongoing psychological care. Even her career was a fight. Despite critical acclaim for her artistry, early leaks, clashes with Def Jam, and media pressure forced Rihanna to spend her own money to reclaim control of her music. Offstage, she keeps her sharp edge, but her eyes no longer glitter with youthful innocence. They reflect the resilience and pain of a woman who has endured so much. The lives of these 19 Black R&B singers aren't just about sold-out shows and red carpets. They're stories of struggle, survival, and triumph that demand empathy. If this video gave you a new glimpse into their worlds, leave a comment below to show support and tell me whose secrets you want uncovered next. And before you go, hit subscribe so you don't miss more powerful stories from behind the spotlight.